Welcome to Nostalgia Hollywood 1960s, where we revisit the timeless stars of classic cinema. Today's journey takes us back to 1956 with Cecil B. DeMille's monumental epic The Ten Commandments. This masterpiece not only brought biblical history to life but also introduced audiences to Hollywood's most unforgettable stars, captured at the height of their youth and talent. Now in 2025, the entire cast has tragically passed away, leaving behind only their legacy. Join us as we remember their real names, ages, and remarkable appearances, then and now. Memnet in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Judith Anderson when she was 59 years old. In the film, Memnet serves as an Egyptian house servant and confidant, old and loyal to the royal household. Yet her awareness of Moses's true Hebrew heritage drives conflict with her mistress. Her character is stern, calculating, and conflicted, torn between loyalty and the weight of secrets. Although not the central figure, Memnet has a memorable presence. Her revelation of Moses's identity is pivotal to the dramatic tension of the story. The role exploits Anderson's gravitas and ability to embody morally ambiguous service within the great epic. Judith Anderson, born on February 10, 1897, passed away on January 3, 1992 at the age of 94. The role of Memnet in The Ten Commandments is a notable appearance in her long filmography rather than her breakthrough role. Her breakthrough came earlier, in 1924, on Broadway with Cobra, and she later earned acclaim for characters like Mrs. Danvers in Rebecca, 1940, and Medea in the stage play for which she won a Tony Award. Over her career she won 2 Emmy Awards and was made a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1960. Her legacy endures as one of the great tragic and villainous character actresses of the 20th century. Jethro in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Eduard Franz when he was 53 years old. Jethro, the Midianite priest and Moses's father-in-law, performs a key supporting role in the epic, providing counsel and sanctuary to Moses and his followers. Though not the central figure, his character contributes to Moses's journey by offering wisdom and familial ties, bridging Moses's Hebrew roots with his life in Midian. Eduard Franz's portrayal underscores Jethro's authority, compassion, and moral guidance, shaping critical moments of trust and decision in the narrative arc. Eduard Franz, born on October 31, 1902, passed away on February 10, 1983 at the age of 80. His role as Jethro in The Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in his long and distinguished career rather than his breakthrough, which was more gradual through stage and minor film parts. He began in theater and gained recognition with roles in films like The Thing from Another World, 1951, and in biblical dramas like Sins of Jezebel, 1953. Over decades he played many authoritative and intellectual figures in both cinema and television, and his performances remain respected examples of character work in Hollywood's mid-20th century era. Sethi in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Cedric Hardwicke when he was 62 years old. In this epic biblical drama, Sethi is depicted as the Pharaoh of Egypt, ruling during a time of wealth, power, and growing unrest. His character embodies both the grandeur and the burdens of kingship, as he balances his affection for his adopted son, Moses, with the political realities of succession and authority. Sethi is portrayed with regal dignity, wisdom, and paternal concern, serving as a stabilizing figure whose decisions shape the fate of Egypt and influence the destiny of Moses. His role underscores the human complexity behind imperial rule. Cedric Hardwicke, born on February 19, 1893, passed away on August 6, 1964, at the age of 71. His portrayal of Sethi in The Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in his filmography, showcasing his ability to lend depth, authority, and nuance to a regal figure within a large-scale production. Hardwicke's career, however, extended far beyond this single performance. He was knighted in 1934 for his distinguished contributions to the stage, making him one of the youngest actors at the time to receive the honor. Known for his commanding voice and dignified presence, he excelled in both classical theater and film, leaving a lasting legacy as one of Britain's most respected actors of his generation. Lilia in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Debra Paget when she was 22 years old. In the film she plays the water girl, a Hebrew slave girl who brings water to the oppressed laborers under cruel Egyptian supervision, and becomes the beloved of Joshua. Lilia is a supporting character, not central to Moses' arc but meaningful in that she embodies compassion and hope among the Hebrews in bondage. Her gentleness, beauty, and kindness contrast with the brutality around her, and she forms an emotional connection with Joshua. Though Lilia's screen time is limited compared to the leads, her presence adds depth to the human suffering and resilience depicted. Debra Paget, born on August 19, 1933, is 92 years old in 2025. Her portrayal of Lilia in The Ten Commandments was a notable appearance, one of the roles she is best remembered for, though it was not her breakthrough. She had earlier gained attention in films such as Broken Arrow, 1950, and Cry of the City, 1948. Over her career she starred in epics, westerns, adventure films, and also worked in European productions like Fritz Lang's The Indian Tomb. She retired from screen acting in the mid-1960s and later became a born-again Christian, hosting religious programming and making occasional appearances in related works. Her cultural contribution lies partly in her image as one of Hollywood's classic beauties and in roles that often blended exoticism with moral vulnerability. Aaron in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by John Carradine when he was 50 years old. In the film, Aaron is Moses' brother, torn between loyalty to his people and obedience to divine command, particularly in the narrative involving the golden calf and his role as intermediary when Moses ascends Mount Sinai. He is a significant secondary character whose moral struggle reflects the broader themes of faith, leadership, and responsibility in the Exodus story. His presence anchors the Hebrews' internal conflicts and serves to humanize the weight of prophecy and divine law upon those who follow rather than lead. John Carradine, born on February 5, 1906, passed away on November 27, 1988 at the age of 82. His role as Aaron in The Ten Commandments was not a breakthrough. He was already an established character actor, but it remains a notable appearance in his extensive filmography. Carradine appeared in over 200 films, often cast in memorable supporting or character parts, especially in horror, westerns, and Shakespearean adaptations. His gaunt presence, resonant voice, and capacity to embody eccentric or sinister characters earned him critical recognition. Though he never won major awards like Oscars, his influence endures in the realm of character acting and American cinema history. Baka in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Vincent Price when he was 45 years old. In the film, Baka serves as the master builder under Pharaoh Sethi, tasked with supervising the construction of a new city for the pharaoh's jubilee. He is depicted as a harsh, cruel overseer of Hebrew slaves, exceedingly brutal in his methods and quick to punish any perceived failure. Baka becomes a foil to Moses, especially when Moses seeks more humane treatment of workers for efficiency and compassion, which enrages Baka. Ultimately, Baka meets his end in a confrontation with Moses, whose disguise reveals Moses' identity and leads to Baka's strangulation by his own whip. Vincent Leonard Price Jr., born on May 27, 1911, passed away on October 25, 1993 at the age of 82. His role as Baka in The Ten Commandments was not his breakthrough but is a notable appearance among his expansive filmography. Known especially for his performances in horror films, Price also earned acclaim in classics such as House of Wax, Witchfinder General, and many Edgar Allan Poe adaptations. He was also an art collector, gourmand, and wrote books. His distinctive voice and screen presence made him one of cinema's memorable villains. His legacy continues through his contributions to film, culture, and the arts. Bithiah in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Nina Foch when she was 32 years old. The character of Bithiah is the Egyptian princess who discovers the infant Moses in the bulrushes and chooses to adopt him as her son, despite the knowledge that he is a Hebrew child. She is depicted as compassionate, strong-willed, and deeply maternal, often contrasting with the harsher figures of Egyptian authority surrounding her. Her decision to protect Moses sets in motion the dramatic narrative of his life and mission. In the film, Bithiah represents both courage and empathy, embodying a personal rebellion against cruelty while embracing love and loyalty above tradition. Nina Foch, born on April 20, 1924, passed away on December 5, 2008 at the age of 84. Her portrayal of Bithiah was a notable appearance within her wide-ranging career, lending depth and humanity to a pivotal supporting character in one of Hollywood's grandest epics. While not her breakthrough, the performance showcased her versatility and presence alongside a celebrated cast. Beyond the Ten Commandments, Foch built a remarkable career in film, stage, and television, including acclaimed roles in An American in Paris and Executive Suite, the latter earning her an Academy Award nomination. She also became a respected acting teacher at USC, influencing generations of performers, and left behind a legacy of artistic dedication and cultural impact. Joshua in the Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by John Derek when he was 29 years old. In that film, Derek played the role of Joshua, the Hebrew stonecutter who follows Moses and is destined to succeed him, appearing in a supporting capacity alongside the prominent biblical leads. The character's arc spans humble origins to leadership under divine instruction, contributing to the larger narrative of the Exodus. Derek's performance, though not central as Moses or Rameses, adds depth to the community of Hebrews and serves as a moral compass, underscoring themes of faith, obedience, and transition in the story's climactic moments. John Derek, born on August 12, 1926, passed away on May 22, 1998 at the age of 71. His portrayal of Joshua in the Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in his filmography rather than a breakthrough role, given he had already appeared in substantial films like Knock on Any Door, 1949, and All the King's Men, 1950. Throughout his career, he acted in numerous adventure, western, and epic films, later becoming a director and photographer. Derek also gained attention for his personal life and for promoting the careers of his wives, especially Bo Derek. His contributions to classic cinema include memorable supporting roles and his presence in some of Hollywood's grand epics, leaving a lasting legacy in the genre. Dathan in the Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Edward G. Robinson when he was 62 years old. In the film, he is a major antagonist, an Israelite overseer who betrays Moses' heritage to Pharaoh Rameses, becomes governor of Goshen, manipulates the Hebrews, and helps lead them astray with the golden calf. Dathan's character embodies treachery, greed, power, and moral corruption, challenging Moses' mission and leading some Israelites into idolatry. His actions contribute significantly to the dramatic tension in the biblical epic, especially during the plagues and the Exodus scenes, where he remains resolute in defiance until his downfall. Edward G. Robinson, born on December 12, 1893, passed away on January 26, 1973 at the age of 79. His role as Dathan in the Ten Commandments was a notable appearance rather than his breakthrough, since he was already well established by then with famed roles such as Rico in Little Caesar. Robinson's career spanned both stage and screen, appearing in over 100 films. He was celebrated for roles in Key Largo, Double Indemnity, and Soylent Green. Despite being typecast often as tough characters or villains, he earned critical respect, won a Best Actor award, and posthumously an honorary Academy Award, becoming a legend of Hollywood's golden age. Moses in the Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Charlton Heston when he was 32 years old. In the film, he is introduced as a prince of Egypt, raised in Pharaoh's court but destined for a far greater purpose. The story follows his transformation from a privileged noble into a prophet chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of bondage. Heston's Moses is depicted as commanding and resolute, struggling with doubt but ultimately embracing divine authority. His presence embodies both human vulnerability and unwavering faith, driving the monumental journey of liberation and covenant. The performance gave Moses an unforgettable cinematic presence. Charlton Heston, born on October 4, 1923, passed away on April 5, 2008 at the age of 84. His role as Moses in the Ten Commandments was his breakthrough, establishing him as a leading figure in epic cinema. The commanding physicality and voice he brought to the role made the film a cultural landmark and cemented his reputation. Heston later became one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars, taking on iconic parts in films such as Ben-Hur, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, as well as El Cid and Planet of the Apes. Beyond acting, he served as president of the Screen Actors Guild and left a lasting imprint on American cinema and cultural history. Nefretiri in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Baxter when she was 33 years old. In the film, she plays the Egyptian princess and queen who is betrothed to Rameses and entangled in the political and romantic tensions surrounding Moses' return. The character is regal, ambitious, and deeply invested in both royal duty and personal desire, often acting through both boldness and subtle manipulation. Her relationships with Moses and Rameses drive much of the interpersonal drama, and her loyalties are torn between her expectations as princess and her feelings. Nefretiri stands out as one of the major figures in the ensemble, with substantial screen time and emotional weight. And Baxter, born on May 7, 1923, passed away on December 12, 1985 at the age of 62. The role of Nefretiri in The Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in her filmography rather than her breakout, since by that time she was already an established Hollywood star, having won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1947 and earned major recognition in films like All About Eve, 1950. Over her career, she delivered a wide range of performances in cinema and on stage, and she won other awards including a Golden Globe, Laurel Awards, and multiple accolades for dramatic roles. Beyond her film work, she also appeared in television and Broadway productions, contributing enduringly to the golden age of Hollywood and the broader entertainment culture. Sephora in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Yvonne de Carlo when she was 34 years old. In the film, Sephora is the Midianite shepherdess who becomes the wife of Moses. The character is depicted with compassion and moral strength, serving as a significant supportive figure in Moses' journey. Her role involves caring for her flocks, demonstrating loyalty, and navigating the challenges of her marriage to Moses. Sephora's presence adds emotional depth to the epic narrative, particularly in showing Moses' personal life away from his leadership duties. Her portrayal contributes to the human dimension of the biblical story. Yvonne de Carlo, born on September 1, 1922, passed away on January 8, 2007 at the age of 84. Her performance as Sephora in The Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in her filmography rather than her breakthrough role, but it earned her critical recognition and a Laurel Award for Top-Liner Supporting Actress. Over her career, she starred in many films through the 1940s and 1950s, later transitioning successfully to television, most famously as Lily Munster. She also performed on stage and released musical recordings. Her work left a lasting mark on classic Hollywood cinema and popular culture. Miriam in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Olive Dearing when she was 37 years old. In the film, Miriam is depicted as the sister of Moses, a supportive figure amid the plagues and Exodus, bearing witness to the trials of the Israelites and standing alongside her brother in faith and identity. She is not a central protagonist, but her role adds emotional depth to the biblical narrative. Her presence evokes the familial connection and shared heritage that underpins the story's themes of liberation. The character's portrayal reflects DeMille's decision to include Miriam as a symbol of the Hebrew people's suffering and resilience. Olive Dearing, born on October 11, 1918, passed away on March 22, 1986 at the age of 67. Her turn as Miriam in The Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in her filmography, coming after she first played another Miriam in Samson and Delilah, 1949. She built a career spanning stage, radio, television, and film, and was a life member of the Actors Studio. Though she did not become a household name, she earned respect for her consistent and varied work, performing in over 200 television programs and many theater productions. Her ability to portray strong supporting roles in major epic films contributed to the golden age of Hollywood epics. Rameses II in The Ten Commandments, 1956, was portrayed by Yul Brynner when he was 36 years old. In the film, he is the Pharaoh of Egypt, a proud, powerful ruler who opposes Moses and leads Egypt during the plagues and the parting of the Red Sea. His character is regal, imposing, at times stubborn, and emotionally driven by rivalry, perceived betrayal, and loss. Brynner's Rameses II competes with Moses for the loyalty of the Hebrews and struggles with the demands of duty, power, and fate as the story moves toward its biblical climax. The performance is central to the epic narrative of liberation and divine justice. Yul Brynner, born on July 11, 1920, passed away on October 10, 1985 at the age of 65. His role as Rameses II in the Ten Commandments was a notable appearance in 1956, among other major roles that year including King Mongkut in The King and I and General Bunayn in Anastasia. Though not his breakthrough, his performance as Rameses further solidified his screen presence in grand epics. He won the National Board of Review Award for Best Actor that year in part for this role. Brynner's career spanned Broadway and film, earning him an Academy Award and 2 Tony Awards, and his distinctive look and commanding manner left a strong mark on cinema. And so, the story of the Ten Commandments 1956 cast becomes one of memory and legacy. Though every actor has sadly left this world, their unforgettable performances endure as living monuments to Hollywood's golden era. The film stands not only as an epic masterpiece but also as a tribute to the artistry, passion, and brilliance of stars who shaped cinema forever. If you found this journey meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to Nostalgia Hollywood 1960s for more stories honoring the legends of Hollywood history.